Hi, I'm Kerry. I'm the host of the Best of Us Investors. I'm the head of our tribe, a group of people who want to make good investment decisions. I want to share with you today the two mistakes that you will make in your life that will keep you from becoming a multimillionaire. I made the same two mistakes, and that's why I can share my mistakes with you. And to me, it cost me $67 million. Two things that I did that if I had done differently, I'd have $67 million in my pocket right now or in my portfolio right now. And I think it's simple things that could make the difference in your life. It would have made a huge difference in my life, and I want to share it with you today. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just somebody who's been down the road you're traveling, and I've made the mistakes, but I've learned from them, and I want to make sure you don't make the same mistake I made. I'll be right with you. This is going to be the most important video you will watch in 2022.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, what are the two mistakes I made and the two mistakes you will make unless you watch this video to the end? Well, it's all about I was buying things that I didn't need. And then I was buying things to impress the people around me. Those are the two mistakes that I made in my lifetime that cost me $67 million. And I want to show you step by step how it happened. Instead of using the money to impress my neighbors or my work cohorts, in 1988, Nita and I decided we were going to upgrade our home. We were going to sell our home on Westbury Road, which we had paid about $135,000 for, and we had a mortgage payment of $1,500 a month. We decided we were going to build a house, and it ended up costing us $325,000, and we started making a payment of $3,500 a month. Interest rates were higher then, but that's what we did. If, on the other hand, we had stayed on Westbury Road and not built this house here, we would have possibly, I was a financial advisor, I could have possibly invested that $2,000 a month into the NASDAQ stock market. Again, I was a financial advisor. I knew the NASDAQ market was outperforming the Dow and the S&P 500, and I knew that technology was a part of our world, and I knew about the digital revolution. So if I had dollar cost averaged into the NASDAQ market starting in 1988, what would that have turned out to be? I want you to look at this chart. I went and I found the return on an annual basis on the S&P 500 between 1988 and 2021. And then you can see here, I dollar cost averaged $24,000 a year into the NASDAQ. And you can see then I put in the rate of return that the NASDAQ actually achieved in that year and the earnings and added it to my balance. As you can see, we had some negative years. Yeah, one year, in the third year, I lost $9,000. But look down here when we got into the dot-com bubble. Holy camole. One year, I lost $1,200. The next year, I lost $600,000. The next year, I lost $500,000. But I stayed to it because I believed these companies in the NASDAQ were the technology that is going to change the way I live. And I endured the loss. Okay? Similar to those of us who are holding some highly speculative stocks in the healthcare field right now are suffering some losses. Look what happened from 3,200,000 down to $900,000 in 3 years. Would I have been sweating bullets? Would I have said, pull the plug, let's get out of there? I hope not. I hope not, because then look what happened. My 900,000 just started climbing. I took a dip of 800,000. I then got back to my 200 or my 2 million, not until 2010. And then look what happened. It grew and it grew, and I just kept dollar cost averaging, and it turned into $18 million. That $2,000 a month turned into $18 million because I made a decision back in 1988 to not show off, to not impress all my friends and work colleagues that Nita and I are doing really well and we moved up into a new home. Yeah. That's an $18 million mistake. Oh yeah, the home has grown in value from 350 to 680. We've doubled our money, but the numbers speak for themselves. Okay, that was mistake number one. I made another mistake. Let me share that with you, and I'm going to lay it right next to the home buying. In 2004, my financial planning practice was doing so well. I drove out here to the Porsche dealer, and I gave him $105,000 for this car. Yeah, I bought Nita a Porsche. $105,000. Now, I was a financial advisor. I knew what was going on. I knew Google was exploding. I knew Apple was a good company. I knew that Amazon was going into the e-commerce, but they weren't making any money. But what if, just what if I had taken that $105,000 in 2004 and laid it on the table and bought Apple stock? Okay? As you can see, I've done the graph. I did the same thing. I went and found out the return on Apple year over year over year, and I created a chart to tell me that if I had done that, my $105,000 would have turned into $49.36 million. That's right. But wait, we're still living on Westbury. So I have another 18 million in that account because I've never sold any of my NASDAQ stock. Now I've got, between the Porsche mistake and the house mistake, the 67.6 million I talked about. What if I had rather than that, I had bought Amazon, not Apple, I had bought Amazon. That stock that I knew because I was buying stuff on it back in 2004, then that would have only turned into 6.8. Let's round it up, 6.8 million. And right now I'd have an extra $25 million in my account. Okay? It's that simple. 2 mistakes. Buying things you don't need. We could have lived in Westbury. Nita could have been driving a Toyota Corolla. But we made those 2 mistakes that cost us somewhere between $25 million and $67 million. Why is this important? You just learned the most important investment lesson you could learn in your lifetime. It's that simple. Throw away those plans for the new house. Forget about that new car. You don't need a Tesla. You don't. You can get from point A to point B in a Toyota Corolla. And if you need that Tesla to show off, rent it for a day. Come on. I had a friend. financial planner. He didn't make the same kind of mistakes. When he went to visit his relatives in West Virginia, he'd rent a Cadillac. He only needed it for a week, but he impressed his relatives. No, I bought Porsches and BMWs. I didn't even add that one into there. There are multiple mistakes. We have some fantastic art hanging on our walls. I have a sculpture by Frank Fleming. It's probably worth 3 times what I paid for it, but it's not worth what it would have been if I had put it in Google stock. That's my message to you. So, how would I have known to buy Apple or to invest in the NASDAQ or to have bought Amazon back in '88 and then again in 2004? All I would have had to do was watch the evening news and listen to what the reporter was telling me was the top story of the night. Back then, it was the digital revolution. They called it the World Wide Web. We had a commercial at a Super Bowl where a lady ran down the aisle and threw a hammer into a big screen announcing that Apple had arrived. It was all there in front of me. But what did I do? I wanted to show off. I wanted to buy things I didn't need. I wanted to buy things that would impress my fellow workers. Don't make that mistake. It's a $67 million mistake. Now, your numbers, maybe you don't have 2,000, maybe you only have 1,000, or maybe you have 3,000 that you can put into the NASDAQ, or you can put into biotech. I don't know, but I'm going to put these charts so you can plug your numbers in. I'm going to put them on our Discord. You can find our Discord by going to Best of Us Investors and giving me your name and your email address, and I'll send you an invitation. It'll cost you nothing. Kevin will put this chart under Carrie's 2 big mistakes. And you'll find it, and you'll be able to download it, and then you'll be able to change the numbers to say, if I had, or if I do. If you're 25 years old, just assume the NASDAQ's going to have the same kind of return. Over 33 years, you'll work out. And it'll tell you, if history repeats itself and the NASDAQ grows at this kind of rate, this is what I'm going to have. That's the value of the decision I'm going to make. And then when you get ready to buy your Tesla 10 years from now, go plug that number in there. It'll cost $105,000, I'm quite sure. Okay? So, you can get the chart. You can map it out for yourself. And what this does is then, when you get into those years where the NASDAQ, where you lose $1 million followed by a loss of almost 700, then $500,000, and then the next year it goes up you can weather the storm because you can say, this has happened before. Carrie told me this would happen. Just keep my nose down. The other thing I want you to understand, when I was growing up, I believed my ability to get rich depended on my abilities to market myself successfully to make more money. That's a big mistake. I'm not as smart as Steve Jobs or Larry Page and Sergey Brin. I'm not as smart as that. Not as smart as Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. But I have an opportunity to invest in them, to invest in their companies. And if I'll take part of my paycheck every week, every month, whenever it comes, and just invest it in the people who are smarter than me, I can become rich. I've laid it out for you. My $67 million 2 mistakes. There are many more. Okay, if you'll do this, I'll guarantee you will become stinking rich. Okay, you won't have to play the lottery. You won't have to play the Mega Million or the one that's up the $414 million this week. In fact, I don't know it. They drew last night. I don't know if somebody won it. You won't have to do that. You'll just every month make an investment, or instead of buying that Tesla, buy whatever. I'd suggest biotech. If you go to the Discord, you'll see my portfolio. You'll see what the stocks are, I believe, are the next Amazons and the next Apples. Those that are going to participate and lead us through the healthcare revolution. Okay, I hope this helps you. One other thing. If you have some young people that you love or that you want to help, share this video with them. If we can get just a few of them, not to buy that new house or to buy that new car. If we can just get a few of them, we can change their lives forever. And isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why we're here? To make this world a better place for those people who follow us, particularly our children and our grandchildren. So that's my take for the day. That's what Best of Us as investors is all about. That's what our tribe is all about. I want you to have the success that I missed. Don't make the 67. Wasn't there a TV show, the $67,000, something like that? All right, talk to you again tomorrow.